It's my guy, like, all right, cool. Y'all want me to fight over that? Send me something first.
Yeah.
Send me something first.
Right.
I don't gotta fight. You know why fighters going over there? Because they can't sell here. I can sell here. So I ain't gotta go over there.
Right.
What they making over there, I'm making here.
Right.
Gervonta Davis is known for speaking his mind, but his recent comments have fans questioning his dedication to boxing. Over the past few months, he has openly shared his frustrations with the sport. From calling boxing trash to his public feud with Turki Alalshikh, it's clear that the cracks in Davis's passion for boxing are becoming more obvious.
25 is at the next year. I'm out of it.
The buzz around Gervonta Davis's absence from the prestigious Ring Magazine Awards has only added to the controversy. Known as the Oscars of boxing, the Ring Magazine Awards brought together some of the biggest names in the sport in London.
He feel like he got the power because he got the cash. So it's like, let me for everybody else type shit. Like, let me take. But he's, I mean, I don't know. You can't. I don't.
Stars like Alexander Usyk and Evander Holyfield attended the event, along with young talents like Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, and Devin Haney. But Gervonta Tank Davis was noticeably missing. His absence sparked speculation, with many wondering why a fighter of his level was left out. Davis later expressed his anger on social media, directing his frustration at Turki Alalshikh, the Saudi Arabian sports magnate and owner of Ring Magazine.
Viva Chanito! Chanos! Viva Chanito!
For Gervonta Davis, being left out was a sign of bigger problems in boxing. He has often spoken about his dislike for the politics in the sport and how it has become more about money than the fighters and fans. Boxing is just too much politics, Davis said. It's not about the fighters anymore. It's about people who don't even care about the sport making decisions. His frustration comes from feeling that the sport's integrity is being damaged by outside influences. And his tense history with Turki Alalshikh has only added to his disappointment.
Well, it looks like Turki Alalshikh may be buying PBC, up to $1 billion in debt. So Gervonta Davis talking about he needs 2 Ferraris. Let's just say he's going to be calling himself Abdul Wahid a lot more.
The relationship between Gervonta Davis and Turki Alalshikh has reportedly worsened after a series of failed negotiations. Davis revealed that Alalshikh had approached him with offers to join a big event in Saudi Arabia, part of the country's push to attract top fighters. However, Tank made it clear he wouldn't make things easy. In a move that some called bold and others shrewd, Davis demanded 2 Ferraris just to consider sitting down for negotiations.
His Excellency over there in Saudi Arabia, he got it going on. I'm going to go ahead and say it. He just may be the savior of boxing. It's reported that he wants Tank Davis in Saudi Arabia.
To many, Gervonta Davis's request for 2 Ferraris might have seemed excessive, but for him it wasn't just about luxury. It was about proving his value in a sport that he feels favors those with money over true passion. They think they can throw money at you, and that's enough, Davis said. But for me, it's not just about the money. It's about respect, and I didn't feel respected. In response, Turki Alalshikh reacted with a mix of humor and defiance, saying, "We'll send you 2 gloves if you want. That's it."
Hey, that's Lomachenko.
No.
All right.
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that? Oh, Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready.
I need 3 now.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis's hesitation to accept Turki Alalshikh's terms wasn't just about cars or contracts. It reflected his deeper frustration with the state of boxing. Boxing isn't the same anymore, Davis said earlier this year. There's too much drama, too much trash, and not enough focus on what really matters. While some dismissed his words as just frustration from a fighter at his peak, it's become clear that his concerns go deeper. His feud with Alal Sheik and the Ring Magazine snub have highlighted the issues he has with the sport. For Davis, the Saudi influence in boxing symbolizes the problem. While many fighters welcome the big money and massive paydays, Davis remains doubtful. "It's all about who can pay the most now," he said. "They don't care about the fights, the fans, or the fighters. It's just about the money."
Well, my experience with Turkey has been, a pleasure. Everything has been straight down the line. Everything's been good. The conversation's been great.
Not everyone shares Gervonta Davis's skepticism. Some believe the money coming into boxing from places like Saudi Arabia has given the sport a fresh boost, creating new opportunities for fighters and drawing in bigger audiences. For many boxers, the chance to earn life-changing paychecks is enough to set aside worries about commercialization. But Davis sees it differently. For him, the principles of boxing are at stake. "I've worked hard to get where I am," he said. "This isn't just about a paycheck for me, it's about what boxing stands for."
The Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were the talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment. And now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything?
Fed up with it.
Gervonta Davis's frustrations with Turki Alalshikh go beyond money. He felt pressured to agree to terms and said there was a lack of genuine respect, which left him disappointed. "They made it clear they wanted me and were willing to do whatever to get me, but it felt forced. It wasn't about the fights or the fans. It was about their agenda," Davis said. This reflects his broader criticism of boxing, where he believes fighters are often treated as pawns in a bigger game. Adding to the situation is Davis's tense relationship with other fighters and his habit of calling out flaws in the system. His back and forth with Terence Crawford, for example, highlighted the financial side of boxing when Davis fired back at Crawford's comments by comparing their earnings, showing how much money now overshadows merit in the sport.
I know he feel like how I feel when I be wanting to see them big fights be made. He got the money to throw it at everybody so they can shut up talking about that money.
Self in as the middleman to get the job done.
Shakur Stevenson, another top fighter, shared his thoughts on the Davis-Alal Sheik feud, suggesting that Alal Sheik might eventually offer Davis a deal too good to refuse, highlighting the power of the Saudi Sports Authority. However, for Gervonta "Tank" Davis, it's not just about the money. It's about protecting what he sees as the true essence of boxing. Tank's growing frustration with the sport has even led to speculation that he might walk away entirely. Earlier this year, he surprised fans by hinting at retirement, saying, "Sometimes I feel like I've done enough."
Hey, look, the PBC is going down. That's why he's hanging his head low. Tank, quote unquote, is retiring, but it's not from boxing, bro. When he said he was out, he didn't even say from the sport first. He out of PBC. Like, he don't even want to have no connections for them, bro. Any connections with them. So, hey, he gonna try to get the bag with Turki Alalshikh. He'll probably have about 4 fights after the 3 fights this upcoming year, which I'm hopeful for because I'm a Tank fan. I'm hopeful.
While many dismissed Gervonta Davis's comments at the time, his ongoing frustrations and feud with Turki Alalshikh have given those words more meaning. Tank's latest criticisms of Alal Sheik and the Saudi influence in boxing have sparked strong debates in the sport. Some see Davis's comments as a much-needed voice of reason, while others think it's just bitterness over perceived slights. Adding to the controversy, former champion and commentator Tim Bradley has openly supported Davis, praising his unapologetic stance and agreeing with his skepticism toward the commercialization of boxing.
That's why I respect Tank. Hey, Tank, you got a new fan, dog. You got a new fan. You a real one, dog. As of late, you've been showing me you a real one. I like that. Yes, you've been showing me that you are a real one. Now, if you go over there and
Tank's recent outrage partly comes from his exclusion from the Ring Magazine award ceremony. His absence stood out, especially since he holds a world championship title, unlike Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. To make matters worse, Garcia is currently serving a suspension for testing positive for Ostarine, and his victory over Haney was overturned into a no contest, which only fueled Davis's feelings of disrespect. For someone with Tank's credentials and fan following, the snub felt unfair. But Davis's criticism of the boxing world goes beyond just award ceremonies. His feud with Turki Alalshikh reflects his broader frustration with the sport's direction. Alalshikh's response, offering Davis gloves instead of Ferraris, sparked a war of words. Tank didn't hold back, accusing fighters who agreed to fight in Saudi Arabia of caring more about money than the integrity of boxing. He dismissed the Saudi events as lifeless spectacles, pointing out the small crowds and lack of atmosphere compared to the excitement of major fights in the U.S. "I sell where I'm from, Bierka," Tank proclaimed, showing his belief in his domestic star power.
David, he said to me, send to me 2 Ferrari to play in Saudi Arabia. I said to him, we will send to you 2 gloves if you want to play in Saudi Arabia. That's it.
These comments have caused a split in the boxing community. Some critics have accused Davis of being bitter and jealous, especially as the Saudi boxing scene continues to grow with strong financial support. Saudi Arabia has been able to attract top fighters with big paydays, turning the kingdom into a major force in the sport. From Tyson Fury's battles with Deontay Wilder to Anthony Joshua's career revival, Saudi Arabia has hosted some of the biggest boxing events in recent years. Tank's refusal to participate has led to accusations that he's simply unable to compete in this new globalized arena.
We don't have to, again, sell our soul, as they say, for money. That's the way to put it.
However, others, like Tim Bradley, see Davis's stance as a bold stand against the growing commercialization of boxing. Bradley was clear in his praise of Tank's authenticity, saying, "That's why I respect Tank. You've been showing me you're a real one. I like that." Bradley admired Davis for refusing to kiss the ring of Turki Alalshikh, even though other fighters, including Shakur Stevenson, have embraced the chance to fight in Saudi Arabia. Bradley's comments added a new layer to the controversy, as he seemed to support Davis's approach over Stevenson's, which was surprising given Bradley's previous praise of Shakur.
So they say Turki Alalshikh is not with the cherry picking or not paying fighters who cherry pick. So why is he willing to pay Canelo so much money to cherry pick Terrence?
Bradley warned, however, that if Tank ever went back on his principles and took a Saudi payday, he would lose respect. "If you go back on your word, then you're going to lose a big fan, dog, and I'm going to come at you," Bradley stated, making his stance clear. Davis's comments, along with Bradley's support, highlight a bigger issue in boxing, the clash between tradition and modernity. For fans, boxing has always been about legacy, honor, and competition. Fighters like Davis, who built their careers on strong domestic fan bases and personal connections to their communities, see the Saudi influence as a betrayal of these values. The huge paydays offered by Alal Sheik and his team are seen as a shortcut, attracting fighters who care more about money than the love of the sport.
Anyone see Turki Alalshikh doing this? A lot of people are speculating that this was the signal to get the fight to end, but let's be real, the guy's probably just annoyed that his plans for an AJ versus Tyson Fury fight are probably down the drain, so he wanted that camera off him quick.
Critics of Davis argue that his stance is hypocritical. After all, Tank has never shied away from big paydays himself, and his extravagant lifestyle, often shown on social media, is proof of his financial success. They question whether his refusal to work with the Saudis is truly about principles or just a reaction to being overlooked. His fiery comments about the small crowds in Saudi Arabia and the fighters who take part there could be seen as bitterness rather than standing on moral high ground. Some also point out that Davis's stance may limit his own career opportunities as boxing becomes more global. Saudi Arabia offers fighters a chance to reach new audiences and earn life-changing money. For fighters like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Alexander Usyk, fighting in the kingdom has been a strategic move that boosted their global profiles.
What Riyadh season do with the big promoter and big fighters, show us who's the real fighters and who's, in the last year we changed the map and there is a lot of fighters.
By refusing to participate, Davis risks being left behind as the sport evolves. Despite the criticism, Davis remains firm in his beliefs, and his refusal to compromise, even if it means losing potential earnings, has earned him respect from fans who value authenticity over opportunism. For these supporters, Tank's outspokenness is a breath of fresh air in a sport often controlled by corporate interests and politics. However, not everyone is convinced. Critics argue that Davis's actions contradict his rhetoric. His demand for Ferraris, meant to make a point about his worth, came off as excessive to many. If Tank truly values principles over money, why make such extravagant demands in the first place? This contradiction has led some to question the sincerity of his stance.
Your Excellency Turki Alalshikh, sent Top Rank an offer, and it was a good offer. I mean, a good offer, and he turned it down for whatever reasons. He turned it down. It was for far more than the offer that.
Saudi Arabia's growing influence in the world of sports, especially boxing, has become hard to ignore. With their wealth and organizational skills, they've hosted some of the biggest sporting events in recent memory, like the undisputed heavyweight clash between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury in Riyadh. Along with high-profile cards such as Matchroom vs. 5 events, While this expansion has been praised for its grandeur, it has also sparked debates and criticism, particularly from outspoken figures like Tank. His sharp remarks about Turki Alalshikh, the chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, and his doubts about the proposed unified boxing league have only added to the controversy. Saudi Arabia's new plan to establish a $4.5 billion boxing league under its public investment fund has shaken the sport. Aimed at unifying fighters, promoters, broadcasters, and sanctioning bodies, this league promises a complete overhaul of boxing's broken structure.
And it seems like I'm saying this a lot these days. It really does. But that might be the best card I've ever seen. Big up to Mr. Turki Alalshikh. All respect to that great man.
While the idea may sound revolutionary to some, it's already causing controversy among athletes and stakeholders. Tank Davis, a fighter known for his powerful punches and even stronger opinions, doesn't hold back when it comes to it. Davis has yet to step into a Saudi ring, and it's clear from his comments that he doesn't feel the need to change that anytime soon. After his exciting win against Frank Martin at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Davis was asked about Saudi Arabia's growing influence in boxing. His response was as blunt as it was critical. If Turki Alalshikh feels like he got the power because he got the cash, so it's like, let me S on everybody else, Davis said, directly addressing the Saudi officials' sway in the sport. When asked further about the new league being developed, Davis didn't fully reject the idea but raised serious concerns.
Would you say he's revolutionizing the sport?
Oh, for sure. He's making the sport better. I love what he's doing for the sport. Just like this event, boxers are getting rewarded.
Somewhat good, I would say, for the sport, but I don't know. So you want to kick everybody out, all the promoters? That's crazy, Davis said, showing his reluctance. This highlights a growing divide in boxing between traditionalists who value the sport's long-standing promoter-driven model and those who see Saudi Arabia's financial power as an opportunity to reshape the sport. Turki Alalshikh has become one of the most influential figures in modern boxing. He's played a key role in bringing major events to Saudi Arabia and positioning the kingdom as a global hub for combat sports. However, his vision for a unified boxing league hasn't been well received by everyone. Critics like Davis argue that such a league could monopolize the sport, removing the diversity and freedom that promoters currently offer. Fighters might find themselves at the mercy of a single entity, losing the bargaining power they have when negotiating fights.
Went to Disney World together and things like that. So, I would call it a friendship. Turki Alalshikh has done with boxing. I appreciate everything that he's done and doing and what he's going to do in the future. And I think it's a bright future.
Saudi Arabia's entry into boxing is clearly changing the game for fighters like Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, and Anthony Joshua. The kingdom has brought huge paydays that are much larger than those offered in traditional markets. But not everyone is convinced. Davis's criticism echoes concerns that Saudi Arabia's influence is focusing more on spectacle and money rather than the integrity of the sport. The flashy events, small crowds, and the emphasis on attracting global stars instead of nurturing homegrown talent have all raised doubts.
There were some discussions. They weren't long. It was very quick, but it has to be sort of on our terms, not necessarily all on their terms. But look, that's the next thing.
Davis took it further, accusing fighters who compete in Saudi Arabia of prioritizing money over their principles. They are going over there, getting their ass kicked, fighting in front of a total of 19 people, but because they are rich, it's cool, Davis said, showing his dislike for what he sees as a sellout mentality. For him, the United States is still the true home of boxing, where he believes he can sell out arenas and build a legacy without needing to bow to Saudi power brokers. The controversy around Alal Sheik isn't just about money or power. It's about the future of boxing. Supporters believe Saudi Arabia's investment is bringing new life to the sport, with more resources and opportunities. They see the proposed league as a way to fix the issues boxing has faced for years. However, critics view Alal Sheikh's ambitions as a takeover.
Hi there, welcome to Boxing Media Hub. So tonight we're hearing reports from the New York Times that the Saudi Investment Fund is close to purchasing 10% of DAZN worth $1 billion. Let us know what you think to that, guys. Turkey and his team taking over.
Davis's comments about the Saudi officials show his concern that Alal Sheik is more focused on gaining influence than developing the sport. Why is he not building the people where he is from? This guy knows nothing about boxing, and this is who they're turning to? Davis said, questioning why Alal Sheik isn't working on growing Saudi fighters instead of bringing in imported stars. The cultural divide is clear, especially for fighters like Davis, who grew up in the tough boxing culture of Baltimore. The flashy Saudi events can feel out of touch with the sport's roots. The small, elite crowds and fancy venues are a stark contrast to the packed arenas and loud atmospheres that define American boxing. This clash of values is at the core of Davis's criticism, and many others share his concern that boxing's soul is being sold to the highest bidder.
Did you physically ask Turki Alalshikh to try and make a Devin Haney Tank fight? Because we hear Turki say that he would like to see Shakur in Tank. Did you say, can you make that fight for us? Like, did you ask for that fight to Turki?
Absolutely.
As Saudi Arabia continues to gain power in boxing, the sport finds itself at a crossroads. The proposed league could change the industry, offering fighters financial security and huge rewards. But it also risks pushing away people like Davis, who view the kingdom's influence as a threat to boxing's true nature. For now, Davis remains a strong critic, refusing to join the Saudi movement, despite its tempting riches. Whether he will soften his stance if offered $150 million or stay true to his beliefs is still unknown.
Hopefully I fight Ryan again. If they're not on some whole shit, I'll text that ass again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, niggas start talking that,
The tension between Davis and Alal Sheik is more than just a personal feud. It's a fight for the future of boxing. It's about tradition versus change, pride versus practicality, and principles versus money. What do you think? Share your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.